Well, we reached the part of the podcast we're going to be talking about the Grey Cup. And who better to come on than the man who has futures on both teams? So he doesn't have to sweat.
I'm not sweating at all.
If you've been listening to Jim on Spring Fever or Jim when he's come on this podcast, you're sitting in a good position because you have a Blue Bombers future and you have a Argonauts future. So you can just sit back, enjoy the game, have some Busch Light.
Those were my first two bets of the entire season.
I mean, dude, look at you, just CFL sharp.
The only thing is you could have gotten the Argos. I didn't rebet them. You could have probably got them at a better price mid-season, like maybe in the smack dab middle of the season when it was unclear whether or not them or Montreal would be in first place.
I mean, it's been a hell of a season. There's been some disappointing teams, namely the Ottawa Redbacks. I thought I was expecting Redbacks. Yep, I was expecting a little bit more from them. Elks, I gotta, they suck.
Disappointing.
But I expected a little more. But the big news is, Nathan Rourke is gonna try out for the NFL next year.
That's what I figured. So, you saw him in the divisional finals. He was so emotional. He was crying up a storm. I always figured he'd try out. Obviously, he has a lot of tools, and you see what his brother's doing in Ohio. That family's got good quarterback in them. I wonder if he could be a starter.
I don't think he can be a starter in the NFL. I think he could be like a Colt McCoy. Tyler Heineke is his ceiling. Come in.
Taylor Heineke
is going to be on the bench next year, bud.
Interesting.
I'll get Colt McCoy then. He can be a Colt McCoy.
It's weird. So he's one of those MAC quarterbacks. He kind of unlocked in the CFL. If he does join an NFL roster, I would love to see him kind of unleashed in that regard. He has a lot of the tools you need.
Uh-huh.
But I would be
I just don't see it, dude. I don't see him.
And even as a backup, he'd be getting paid more. So good for him for making that money. But I will say it's something I hate. Seeing these stars in leagues like the XFL and the CFL and the USFL, they're stars in this league, and then they go in and be backups in the NFL. It pays more, and do whatever you got to do for that money.
Yeah.
But I hate seeing these guys just it's like they disappear almost.
Yep. But I mean, like you said, you get paid more money. You get better healthcare, which is a big money. It can open up more opportunities. So, I totally get it. I wish them nothing but the best of luck. But you're right. It is sad to see these kids go.
If I see Nathan Rourke start a game, I'm going to cream my pants.
Now, Jim also came on during the USFL. And, since we're live on the podcast, I need to ask him right now, is he willing to come on when the XFL starts?
I mean, look at my background. It's going to change to the new logo, but yeah. Of course.
All right, so we're going to be losing Jimmy for a while.
We just had the draft started today.
The draft started today. What this is mainly going to be the Grey Cup, but those who don't know Jim tuning in for the first time, Jim knows everything about anything football. I mean, X League, which is a Japanese league, the European League, who I don't even know the name of,
ELF,
CFL, USFL, XFL. Just a smart man when it comes to football in general, and especially these. I don't want to use the term. What's the word?
Use alternative.
Use alternative leagues. So, that's awesome. I did want to ask you one quick thing though. Who is going to be your team in the XFL?
So I can't. It's the one league I don't pick a team. I'm CFL Jim at the moment. I was USFL Jim, but everyone who knows me, it started and will always be at my deep core XFL Jim. The league as a whole is my darling. It's the one league I don't pick favorites in.
It's the one league. Well,
it's the only league I don't pick favorites in.
I have two teams. Number one, I got to go with the Las Vegas Vipers, and I really hope that my boy King goes there to be the quarterback.
Oh, we already know who the quarterbacks are.
Oh, Where's King going?
He didn't get picked up. So he was just rumored, didn't get picked up by the league.
Oh, disappointing. Who do the Vipes got?
So the Vipes got one Jalen McClendon,
Okay.
formerly of Baylor, and formerly of the USFL, also formerly of the XFL. I feel like this guy's played in every single spring league. Louis Perez from the Generals.
Okay. All right.
He's one of two USFL quarterbacks that are now in the XFL.
Okay. My team's going to be the Vipers. Sadly, they don't have the quarterback I want. And then also it's got to be the Houston Rednecks because everyone tells me that my old man looks like Wade Phillips. So,
interesting
by
team.
association. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk a little Grey Cup. So let's jump right into
championship game, baby.
Championship game. Now, me knowing you, I'm assuming you're going to have some sort of action in here.
I mean, I have the future stuff. I don't know if I'll have any actual plays because of those. I've kind of set myself up pretty nicely, but I'll definitely have ways to I'll probably live bet it.
Okay. Well, let's look at it. Right now, we're getting Toronto plus 5.5, money line plus 195, over under 48. First half, Toronto's getting 3, money line plus 165, over under 23.5.
Interesting. That first half under is very interesting.
So what I'm going to do is my first bet in the game is I'm going Toronto and Winnipeg under 23.5.
I do like that. I do like it's the same thing you do with the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
it's a slow start.
Yep. My other bet I'm looking at, and it bit me in the ass last time, but you know what? I do it again. I'm gonna go highest scoring half to be the second half at even money.
I might even venture and say that the highest scoring quarter might be the third quarter.
You know, that's pretty good. You want to make that one official, my friend?
I'm going to make that one official.
So Jim is going with the highest scoring quarter to be the third quarter. My next one. I'm looking at first scoring method. I mean, do we just bet the other at 5-1 just blindly here?
So Argonauts touchdown, Bombers touchdown, field goal.
That rare 1 point to start off the game?
I don't know, but to start off the game is very unlikely.
Yeah.
It's very unlikely that you see like a one-score game start off.
So I know those are going to be the ones I lock in. I feel I need to take a side here. You know what I mean? I feel I need to get a little stake in this game, man. I mean, this could be. I mean, they're going for a 3-peat here. This is history right here.
This is 3-peat right here. This is big for the Bombers. I got to take the Bombers minus 5.5.
You're taking.
They've been here before. Like, they're comfortable with this scenario. And they turn it, like, this is something, I interviewed a lot of these players last year when they were at the Grey Cup. They are dialed in. They are business mode. They are taking care of business.
Because these teams played one time earlier this season, and it was a 1 point win for the Winnipeg.
True. But that was like middle of the season when Winnipeg was kind of on their downswing. They've gotten hot.
And this did open up at 4.5, I believe.
I think it did. I gotta go Bombers. Even at 5.5. Anything under a touchdown, I'm taking the Bombers.
Anything under a tutty? Anything under a tutty?
Anything under a tutty, I'm taking the Bombers.
Okay, let me look here.
I'm gonna bet that over too. So I'm gonna bet like the first half under with you. I'm gonna bet the total as over. I think 48's too low.
We're starting to see some sixes in the market.
I'm fine with that.
We're starting to see some 6s in the market. Yeah, we're starting to. Yeah, Jesus. Line history. Yeah, I mean, what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look to live bet the game.
That's probably
Okay.
the way. That's the play right there. I might dabble. Check this out. I might dabble. Bombers by 7 to 12 points. Get the exact margin down.
Okay.
Plus 450 is where I'm seeing it at some shops.
Plus 450.
Because I think 10 is kind of the right number. I think the West teams are so much better than the East. It's insane this year.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Like the Bombers, what they showed against BC last week, BC is better than any team they would have gotten out of the East.
Yeah, that's true. Now, do we see any props where it's Bombers full game, Bombers game winner?
Oh, like wire to wire?
Yeah, like there's sometimes some shops will sometimes have like who's winning at halftime and then who's winning at the game.
It might be something they pull out later in the week at some shops. The CFL always gets their updates like last compared to college and NFL.
Okay.
But if you can see it, I would definitely take Bombers wire to wire.
Okay. Well, Jim, dude, you know what, dude? I have to say, man, you know, just it's gonna be weird not talking to you.
Taking a couple months off.
It's gonna be a little weird, man. Maybe we need to start covering Japanese basketball or something. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I bet it every week.
Are you a? I don't even know the league over there. Are you a Japanese?
It's the B League. They have different like B League 1, B League 2. They're probably playing tonight.
Who's your team?
I got a couple. I need to, if I could see the names. There's a couple I like. So the Kagawa 5 Arrows is one of them. And I know the Yamagata Wyverns is a team I'm always rooting for.
The what?
The Wyverns. It's like a type of dragon.
Okay. All right. I respect that. Jim, again, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on every single week during the CFL season.
I can't believe the season's over.
I know, man. I know. Maybe next week we can have like a season recap. Oh, next week's Thanksgiving.
Do you remember when it started?
May.
Yeah, preseason. Gee, the first game of the CFL, June 9th.
Jesus, that seems like just yesterday, my man.
That's such a long season, though.
That just seems. It's a long season, but it's a good season, dude.
It's a great season.
My only one suggestion is this. I wish the season would finish earlier because I think going against the NFL hurts the product.
Fair, but there's no way they play 21 weeks. There's no way they could start earlier.
Yeah. Well, why can't they just move it up a month and start in May?
Maybe. I mean, that's on the table.
You know what I mean?
My thing is I want them to kind of fix the schedule a little bit and don't have a lot of weeks where you're playing the same team back to back to back.
Do you think they could condense the schedule?
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
Add another team would be sick too.
Do they have the financial backing to be able to do that though?
I don't know. It's financials are a little finicky with the CFL.
So, all right. Well, maybe with next week's Thanksgiving, it's up in the air if I'm going to be having a podcast, obviously, because turkey time.
It's Thanksgiving.
But maybe in 2 weeks you can come on. We can have like a season recap and whatnot, my friend.
I like it.
Jim, why don't you tell the people where they can find you, buddy?
You can find me on YouTube at XFL Jim. Now there's so much news going on. There's a bunch of USFL news, XFL news, and the CFL stuff. I'm gonna have like a whole season recap video too. It's a lot of stuff at XFL Jim on Twitter. Just find me around.
Make sure you give Jim a follow. He knows his stuff. You know, You can see Jim and I Friday on BTV's Campus Profits, and then Saturday morning, must watch TV.
Oh
Jim and
God,
I
don't remind me.
live on the college tailgate. He is going to be paying up
The
the
key
Kansas
lime
bet,
pie bet, baby.
paying up the key lime pie bet. Going to be epic. Until then, my friend.
I'll see you then.